It's Mindset Monday, coming at you with energetic and tactical tips to help you level up your life and your week. Let's get it. Did you know we're in the midst of the Great Resignation? 4.3 million Americans left their jobs in August without seeking a new one. If you want to become a corporate dropout like me, but you need help creating an exit plan, I can help. Whether you need corporate exit coaching, business coaching, or you're seeking help to step into the best version of yourself, I'd love to connect with you. Listeners of the Corporate Dropout podcast can book a complimentary discovery call with me. Visit alessiacitro.com/dropout. That's ALESSIACITRO.com/dropout to book your free coaching call today. Hello, friends. Happy Mindset Monday. So I've just wrapped up 2.5 hours of interviews, and I had to jump on and record this episode because something was said in the last episode that I recorded that I just cannot unhear, and that I think is so important to be shared that it deserves its own episode. So I just wrapped an episode, a business tip, as well as an interview with my friend Tanya Bhattacharya. And she is amazing. I can't wait for you to hear her episodes that drop the week of Thanksgiving. But she was sharing about how, people go about creating their vision and their mission and their niche. But when you're creating and casting this vision, that you need to have cathedral thinking. I had never heard that term before, and I would venture to guess maybe many of you have not either. And essentially, what cathedral thinking is, it's quite the opposite of how many of us are thinking today. I mean, we live in a time where, we need something, whatever it might be. Need is actually a strong word, but there's something that we desire. So we go on Amazon and it shows up either later that day or the next day. We are in just such a time of immediate gratification that to instead have cathedral thinking is kind of difficult. So let me share what this means. So I went out and Googled it to get a little bit more context to share, and I was kind of struck by the alignment on the site that I stumbled upon, which is aptly titled cathedralthinking.com. So essentially what it is, if any of you listening have been to Europe and you have visited some of the beautiful cathedrals there, you know how grandiose they are. A couple come to mind. One is the cathedral in Milan. I mean, it is expansive, right? And the architects and the stonemasons and all the people who are working on designing these grand European cathedrals, they knew that they would not be there to see the completion, right? So it's really pretty selfless. Rather than thinking about what it'll be like in our lifetime and this thing that we get to enjoy, they were building something that they would never get to enjoy, but that future generations would. And so there was something that really struck me when I went out to this website. As Tanya was talking about cathedral thinking, I thought of a personal experience that I've had. So when I was in college, my junior year, I studied abroad in Barcelona, Spain. And if you have been to Barcelona, you have almost certainly visited the Sagrada Familia. So the Sagrada Familia is a beautiful cathedral designed by Antoni Gaudí. Gaudi's work is all over the city, so talented, and it really makes Barcelona quite unique from a cultural standpoint and an art standpoint. But the Sagrada Familia is really something to behold. So the construction started, he began designing the structure in 1882. It is not yet complete. And when I was there, so this is like 2006, I remember being on a tour and they said, this will not be completed in our lifetime. Now, this website says it's scheduled to wrap up in 2026, which is soon. I hope that that's true. I would love to see it completed. But nevertheless, the point of the story, I remember hearing that I would not get to see this building completed when I'm 20 years old at the time, and just feeling like this level of sadness. That's really the best way I can describe the emotion. That probably sounds kind of silly, but then I hear this term today about cathedral thinking, and it's like, wow, how kind of like self-absorbed are we in our own life experience that we are going about our day-to-day concerned with what we will get to bear witness to and enjoy, and not as concerned about that lasting legacy. I mean, I'm very concerned about legacy too. In fact, my greatest fear in life, aside from being controlled, because I'm an Enneagram 8, and that's kind of our signature, my greatest fear beyond that is to lead a life that was insignificant, that just didn't really matter, that didn't help other people, that didn't make an impact somehow. So I think there's a level of cathedral thinking, but at the same time, I selfishly really want to see the fruits of everything that I'm doing and creating while I'm alive. And, I suppose that's pretty natural, right? Like it might feel like, what's the point of working so hard and grinding and, all of these things if we're not going to reap the benefits. But this concept of cathedral thinking, it gave me chills when she brought it up. And so I just want to invite those of you listening to really get clear, like, what is it that you're doing on a day-to-day? Like, what's your vision for your life? And I've said this before, I think on the podcast, but it certainly bears repeating. The odds of you, uniquely you with your genetic makeup, it's 1 in 400 trillion. I think it was Kelsey Padigos actually who shared that on the interview that we did together. And it's something that I have told so many people. I say it like multiple times a week. So if you think about that, like 1 in 400 trillion, it's kind of like awe-inspiring. Right now, I think there's like 7.5 billion or 8 billion people on the planet. So you think about how many world populations fit into 400 trillion. I mean, wow. So you're not just a special snowflake, like you're a true miracle, right? And so why are you here? I think narrowing in on our purpose can be challenging sometimes, and it's easy to just feel insignificant because, we do live in this big world and there's so many things happening. But at the end of the day, like, you're not here on accident. You have a very unique and important purpose. And it's just a matter of finding out what that is and then pursuing it. There's a saying that the 2 most important days of your life, one is the day that you were born, and the second is the day that you find out why. So once you know what it is that you are really called to do, what your purpose is here, I invite you to employ this cathedral thinking to your work and to your life. It is so much bigger than us. Something Tanya said too that really struck me is, breaking generational curses. And I don't want to give away too much because I want you to listen to the interview. Certainly, it was one of my favorite interviews that I've done, actually. She has great one-liners too. Can't wait for you guys to hear some of these. But nevertheless, one of the things that we talked about was this concept that for many of us women, we might be the first one in our entire lineage that has had professional success, earned an income. And so I think it's really important to remember what a pivotal place and time that we're here for. We were created for such a time as this. So get clear on why you're here, what you love, what you're passionate about, and then have cathedral thinking in a world where everything is instantly gratified. So with that, I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Remember that you were here to do big things. It's not an accident you're here. You were a true miracle. And the thing I want to close with, I just read this on this cathedralthinking.com website that essentially they created these churches because they felt as though it would help them connect to a higher power. So I hope that you are able to connect to your higher power, to source energy, to be in alignment and flow, and live the life you dreamed of, pursuing the purpose that you were uniquely created for. What you track grows. Grow what matters with the 90-day cycle to new habits journal and stay focused on what will move your business forward. Pick up your copy today at 90dayhabits.co and use code CITRO, that's CITRO, for 10% off. Thank you so much for listening to the show. If today's episode added value to your life in some way, please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with someone who needs this. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram and hear how the show has inspired you. So tag me or slide into the DMs. Find me at Corporate Dropout Official or Alacia Citro. That's ALECIA SSIACITRO and 2 underscores. Until next time, remember that you're a badass. Stay focused, stay hungry, and dare to drop out.